Just to say, hey, if we're going to do this, we need to share.
Look, there's a lot of things that can be talked about.
No. I'm used to one council meeting a month, 2 hours max. And we put a limit on ourselves. We're like, hey, if it goes beyond 2 hours, we're gonna adjourn. And I was just like, I got it. But I got all the information for it, and I'm like, you'll get an executive, you know the executive brief you got from me? You're gonna get another one. It's gonna cover all
I'm okay
this
as long as they
wrong
stay on
decisions.
topic. As soon as they get on topic, as soon as they start talking about.
Well, we don't even have a plan for it, so we can't even assume. I mean, yeah, Chick-fil-A, everybody's, I love that.
Yeah, just like the closing.
Yeah, here's one of the issues I had last place I was at, the code, the sign of the code and everything. And like, hey, we're in violation. I said, okay. I'm gonna have a conversation with you, and after this conversation, I said, is this a franchise purchase? Yes. Is this all the stuff that comes with the franchise? Yes. Is this what's out in front of every Starbucks? Yes. You got carte blanche to go ahead and do what you need to do. Build it, put your signs where they need to be. Because I know that you guys, the way you develop your properties for this, they're all the same. So I know what to expect. And then I had a car wash. Yeah, we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to put our sign, and I'm like, no, you're not putting your sign right in front of what's it, Starbucks. Take the car wash, either, I would recommend putting it in the center, so everybody can see when they're coming left or right, or put it at your entrance. I'm not fixing signs, you know, because I'm trying to protect businesses and advertise. But yeah, I was like, signage. I said sign. But for me, it's what investments like Chick-fil-A comes in and says, oh, you're gonna go, hey, let's give them a waiver because it's a franchise. This is how they all go up, this is how they all look. Do we really want to get into a mess where we lose this opportunity to bring them in because we just can't see on location of sign? I'm sure that's the case. Where's my chicken sandwich with waffle fries?
Don coming? Okay. Yeah, as soon as Don comes back, we'll.
Just trying to make sure they don't lose my hotel for tonight, so I have a place to sleep.
Call to our City of Port Richey Community Redevelopment Agency Board meeting Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. I'd like to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, have roll, please.
Chairman John Aaron Hoover.
Here.
Vice Chairman Chris Mayer.
Here.
Member Robert Hubbard.
Here.
Member Lisa Burke.
Here.
Member Christine Sullivan. Here. City Attorney Nancy Meyer.
Here.
City Manager Don King.
Here. Thank you. First up, we've got two sets of board minutes. Looking for a motion to approve the 11/25/2025 CRA board minutes.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on. Favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, I need a motion to approve the December 9th, 2025 CRA board minutes.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on. Favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, comments from the general public. I have no sign-ups. By show of hands, I'd like to speak. Seeing none, I'll close public comment. And then next up is comments from the city manager.
No comments.
Okay, no comments. And then moving on to board business, item number 2, branding sign selection. I'll pass that to Mr. King for introduction there.
Been reviewing the, I guess, what's been provided for us for selection. I think, I'm not sure if we voted to move forward with that based on the actual projects themselves. I don't know if everybody's had the opportunity to look at all the different signs. As far as, from my perspective, I think it meets the intent of what the council wants. I think they're gonna be very nice in the locations that we provided and put them in. I'm just interested on the time and timeline in which this will be able to be accomplished, and then I haven't reviewed the actual final cost on these. What I have recommended to the CRA board is that while we are doing these signs, is looking at the opportunity to provide digital signs. One at here at City Hall, and then maybe one off of 19, where we can actually provide updates and information to the community so that they have real-time information on council meetings, changes, anything that pops up, and then emergency information, and then just events and social events that may occur. One of the things that kind of crossed my mind is there's potential to advertise on them too, to make revenue to pay for or offset the cost of the signs that we're actually purchasing. So that would be helpful to some degree. But that's something I would let the council discuss and determine late as we move forward with the actual purchasing and placement of the actual signage that brand Port Richey.
So it just on your digital sign discussion, are you thinking about incorporating a digital sign into the monument sign to be out front, or are you just talking about it be all digital?
Whole new sign that meets the intent of the designs that you have selected. So we'll work with the company to come up with something that actually replicates or fits in the signage of the city. So I don't have an old sign out there that's built into a digital platform, whereas what I'll have is a digital platform built into our new signage. So it gives us a more professional, more clean, more.
But you have some static portions of the sign, like our logo,
Yes,
for Richie,
yes,
and
yes.
then you'd have just basically all the content would be a digital that you can change.
So basically, on top, to the side, at an angle, on an area that we can properly promote the city, but then having that lower bottom for the actual digital sign that allow us to communicate with our residents and community.
So is the intent of this agenda item is to select, they look like there's three styles.
Yeah, the intent, so this is phase two of the three-phase project, contract that we have with KMA. This is phase two to select a design. We talked to the company. You can like all of them, none of them, or portions of them, and we'll bring that feedback to our meeting tomorrow. We're already going to include the inclusion of a digital sign. So we'll ask them to incorporate a digital sign concept into whatever concept they like, or you can tell them to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. So I'll start. I mean, I've looked through these. There's aspects on each that I like. The one I like the least is the very first one, was the round. Right. It didn't do much for me. Other than the fact that I don't necessarily mind the directional sign that they have with that. That doesn't look too terrible bad, but the other round signs, I don't like that. I do like the some of the blue background signs as well, but the one I really like the best is the third option with kind of the shiplap type of background and that style.
I do too, but they didn't do that on some of the other.
That was my favorite too. And you can put that on top of the digital.
These two are on that third set. Two of the signs are like that with the shiplap. But
Yeah, that was, and I was going to ask that. Did they leave that out accidentally, or
It was just an option. If you want to add that shiplap in there,
they could do either or,
just to look and have an option.
look and feel
the base
different
option.
options. I like the shiplap in the background. I think it really
And this is so it looks like shiplap is actually metal, so I'll hold up to the elements.
right, but it has that look. No, it and the styles of signs they have there, if they would just apply that shiplap across there, I think those look great.
And you
Meet
can
your intent for the vision of the city.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah, I
put that
like
on
that
top of
girls.
the digital sign too.
Well, as far as digital, if you look at that big one that they had sitting out there,
Mm-hmm.
if you were to kind of move that up and then have the digital underneath it,
I'd like to see what one of the long signs look like with the shiplap look.
like the second set with their blue, change the
I like the blue,
yeah.
but I would like to see what it looks like.
And we're not necessarily bound to use everything the same either. I think maybe we could incorporate this other blue style in certain areas as well.
From their sign directional expertise, they would want you to try to be similar so that you know that that's a Port Richey sign.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I think the blue is too dark, and I think it's going to fade almost immediately in the sun.
Well, I'm not
dark
thinking
blue
about the actual
never-
color blue as much as you could, the style with that shiplap in the background, you could have that little kind of pennant look in maybe some parts of the city as opposed to the.
I kind of like your first choice, the third option.
Yeah, it's by far the best looking, I think.
Yeah, the stone, you could take the stone look like he just, like the vice mayor just said, and if you like that shiplap design where it's not round, but that kind of like slightly oval at the top, and then the four side, a total of four sides, and put that on the first one, you can do that, and that's what we're trying to get is total direction. Whatever you guys prefer, we'll let them know tomorrow because we have a follow-up meeting.
Yeah,
What you like, Sal?
The stone with the
What you like?
shiplap might be a little bit too much, don't you think?
are you talking about on the first
Yeah.
image, the
Well, like Sal said, use the first one's base, but put
yeah,
the shiplap
no, I
sign on it.
don't, I wouldn't mix that up. It'd be,
That's too busy, I think.
I like the way they've got the third one set up.
I do too. I like that washboard fill in there. It's pretty simple,
Yep, and then the wood look. I guess that's metal too. That's not wood, of course, right?
Correct. It's all metal, and then that's cabling behind the sign.
Yeah, that's
So
sharp
that's not washboarding. It's cabling. Okay.
I don't like that white, just the white at all. I think it would end up looking dirty, and it would end up. I just don't like it.
Yeah, shiplap's very forgiving, and it just fits into our city real well.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I mean, I'd be okay with going with the third option
Yeah,
altogether.
that's exactly what I was thinking. What do you guys think?
I
Third.
agree.
Derek, I have a question. When you look at the directional signs, I don't believe they're going to build those shiplap because as I look at that, it looks like that's their standard directional sign base.
They will.
Can they build a shiplap for us?
They will edit it as we're going to make that request that they edit it
Okay.
and incorporate the shiplap in there. They, depending on what the shiplap line lines up, they may have to be creative in their spacing a little bit, or we'll ask that of them. In addition to the The probably on the entry sign or that second level, these are levels of signs based on location. We'll get them to place a digital sign. You could have one, our entry level signs, that large one may have a digital board, but you also may want one in front of, I don't know, police station, city hall, fire station. So we'll get them to do those first two and see if they can incorporate a sign or a digital messaging board in there as well.
So,
Mayor, what do you think about the digital message board using that the model to the right and having the digital sign underneath it with that capped on top of it?
You talking about this one here?
Yes,
So you're saying a digital sign would be,
underneath it where that is.
Mhm.
Now, granted,
But
that's
higher.
gonna
You still
it's
have
gonna
that.
be higher and it's gonna be wider, but
That's what I was
will
gonna
be
say.
something similar
The
to
brown
that
part,
where
is
it's
that
on.
metal?
It's got the shiplap
Or
in
is
the
it
back,
wood?
panel with it, and
The
then we
brown
just
part.
build a larger one and then put, it'd be extremely bigger, but you can actually fit your digital sign in that also.
I don't know if we need a cable behind it though, because you won't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would be great.
Well, the goal would be to marry it down so you don't see it, and then bring it into the ground so that we can at least hide it. We can have them help us with that to be able to, have it set up so it hides any of the
well,
cables that go.
well, there'd be one on each side, right? Digital front and back. Use them out for the one out front of City Hall, just have it in the front.
Yeah, just the front, and then the one location that you guys had mentioned where
Do two
you
there.
actually can get visual, front and back. We can get that one out there, and then it'll be an opportunity to be able to, message to the community as they're coming and going.
Part of the contract also requires them to come up with a placement plan. And so they're going to propose different locations based on the sign type. We'll be able to edit those as we go through that process. We can add or omit. The two larger signs will have uplighting. The pole sign for directional will have reflective based on DOT. And the smaller department sign could have uplighting as well. So they'll be lit.
Hey, Don,
Yes.
we just built a digital sign at our dealership over on 19, and Pasco's sign across the street did that digital sign. We found them to be the most reasonably priced and the best quality digital sign you can get. But what I did learn when they did the sign is because we have logos and we have styling for names and letters and all that stuff, you don't want to do both. You want to do name recognition, but then you want a digital sign. You don't want to take up the whole thing with a big sign and also put on top of that or underneath that a digital sign, because it's just too much. You want to give it a little bit of name, like on top, maybe it would say Port Richey in our style letters.
Yeah.
But then you use the digital sign to flash your logo and do other notices and things like that. You wouldn't do it twice.
Yeah.
Agreed. My last digital sign was like that. And what we did is we built, just I guess you could say a brick around it. And then, just so if somebody hit it, it would survive based on the location we had it. But what we did is all our other signs were different, but on that, we just put our crest on the actual, fitment box of where that digital thing went in.
Right.
That's an option, but I like your option that, hey, we can display it.
Yeah, just display the logo and put the name right on the top, permanently.
Yep.
Where did you think the second one should go, Don? Because I understand the first one at City Hall. Where was the second
We
one?
talked,
Well, we mentioned you weren't at the workshop, so we talked about somewhere incorporated into the Grand Boulevard renovation around there, because we actually have some right of way that we could possibly put something there.
Go on a corner, like a 45-degree corner where everybody at a stoplight
Yeah.
can see it and read it. I think that's a great idea.
Or built into the median project somewhere along the median there.
Originally.
I think both those are great ideas.
So that's kind of what we talked about. On
19.
the
Original
incorporating a
grant.
digital sign in there, like if you look at the biggest one, if you take the logo and move it to the left and put the Port Richey, kind of what they did on the vertical thing here. See how they kind of got that there? If you kind of put that along the top of that and shrink that shape down, so you just got that at the top, and then the digital sign is the majority rectangle underneath it. Incorporate something like that, so it's not so huge here, and you got another huge digital sign. kind of compress it up to the top, maybe kind of like what they did here with the logo.
And we'll ask them to provide, two versions of it so that we can at least give you guys, visual to see which one's more aesthetically appealing.
And if you could ask them, one thing I'd like to see in this is on the border. They've got like a kind of like a light gray going around it.
Mhm.
If they could do a couple of, which I like that. I wonder how it would look with the dark blue
I was wondering the same thing.
as the border to really.
I didn't want to, throw a wrench in everybody's.
It's just a quick
Yeah,
change.
I think the
And
blue
also
would take
you could
away
do
from-
blue and do the orange. So we'll give 3 options: the gray the way we've got it, the blue border, and then the orange. Just kind of see which one pops better.
Okay.
I think it's clean like it is, and I think if you put all those colors around the outside, you're going to make it take away from what the sign actually
Maybe
is.
you're right, but it'd be without seeing it, it's hard to visualize that. You might be surprised, but it does look nice the way it is, and I'm good with the way it is. But I would just like to see, just before we invested the money, what it might look like with darker border around it.
I'm with you, but I think more is not good when it comes to signs. Signs are better with less. They're more expressive.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, do we need a motion or just by consensus to move forward on I think consensus. If I have objections to using the theme of the third option with the shiplap. And then also
I'm
with
on
the
board
digital
with
sign.
it.
Well, that's what they're asking for.
Yep. So no objections. We have consensus. Any public comment?
Chopper Davis, 6110 Florida Avenue, Newport Richey. Just to note, I'd like you guys to take some time to look at the monument sign on the corner of Grand and Main. On 19 and Main. And then you're going down Main Street, there's another one. And there's one over by the library and also by the rec center. And the thing that I think you have the most problem with is not the building of the sign itself, but having enough space to have enough print that people can read it.
Mm.
Because when you're coming north on 19, you can't see that digital sign. You can't read the digital sign if you're paying attention to your traffic at all. So make that the digital part is more important than the color of the sign.
Mm.
People will start recognizing it, then they'll want to read it. So consider that, because we have, in my opinion, we have very little wording because of the ability to read it.
Yeah. And as far as placement too, to have it in the middle of 19 somewhere where it's not a stop sign or anything. So if we incorporate like a Grand where there is a stop sign, that's going to happen. It helps.
Yeah, you need to stop sign, because if you're that one that's a monument sign there on 19 and Main, basically if you're coming north, you can't see it,
right,
unless you're the first one to stop there. But if you're going south and don't stop, you're not even looking at that sign. You pretty much the only time you're looking at it is when you're going to turn left. You're going south and you're going to turn left.
Yep.
We owe you feedback on placement, and we'll work with the company to say, hey, where would be the best place for, a dual-faced signage sign that best allows us to communicate with the residents in the community.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen Newport Richey's digital sign that they just put out there. It might be worth to kind of see what they've got as we look at ours.
Look at all four.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm tracking. That's one of the reasons I kind of brought it up, because hey, they got it. Last place I was at, we had it, and it was a good source of distribution of information, because everybody drove by it, everybody read it, and it helped us to get out to the public and provide those critical things. One of the big ones was voting. So getting people to vote, knowing where to vote, and what the days and date and times were.
Council meeting tonight, town hall meeting tonight.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I'd really like to get on it, because hopefully people are reading it, they become more interested in our council meetings and they show up. Because my goal is I prefer less TV watching and more participation, because I'd like them to come in here and throw us curveballs. Let us solve their problems.
We can't see the signs.
What's that?
We can't see the signs that you're all looking at.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Oh, you say, yeah, I throw them up there. I'm going to share real quick.
No, I'm just saying that's something you guys got to work on. You talk a lot about what's on your board frontage, but we don't see that.
Yeah. So
You don't do that now.
well, it's in a packet. It was just public distributed, but I can put it up there if you just show. Let me do that real quick. It don't take a second. No, it'd be good to show. It's good. good feedback.
Scratching the head, wondering what we're talking about.
Yep. So the branding sign selection. So what here was the options. The first one was close that. These were the rounded ones we were talking about, and then they had the blue background, and the one that the council had by consensus went with was this set here. So okay.
Font size.
Oh yeah. Next up is item number 3, fiscal year 24-25 annual report. I'll pass that to you.
Okay.
He knows he's ready for it.
So, according to state law, CRAs must perform an annual report. It must be published on their website by March 31st. This year, we have the report for you. I'm just going to go through it real quick. We have the cover page, the usual information that's on there, executive summary, and the introduction. The map that you see there is the accurate map. After going through the property appraiser, I manually edited the map, so that one is a good one to reference. We did performance measures, so the city attorney informed me about a week prior to due date that there was a new law passed that required special districts to do a goals and objectives summary. And by definition, CRAs are special districts. So that shows itself as a performance measure section here. And so created some performance measures. The difference in taxable value you see there. We also established a tiered approach to evaluating our projects, our CIP plan. And so we go and we everything's referenced to the CRA plan. That's again, that is what we are bound by. And so going off of those goals and projects, we demonstrated whether or not we have achieved the goal of the project, whether we're in progress, or whether or not we have started. And we give a pretty good explanation. There is an achieve the community program. Since the CRA grants are so successful, we thought that was an achieved goal for us. A lot of these are just in progress. Based off of the original 2024 plan, the waterfront redevelopment, that was kind of put on hold for various reasons. So we have that as not achieved. We'll probably update the plan to show the change of priorities for that in the coming year. And of course, there's the financial statement, which is general information that's in all of these. It's a look back and what we've actually spent. I did a change of prior years. You can see that, and then an average change throughout the timeline of the table. And that's we have our revenue. We have expenditures separated in the personnel costs, operating expenditures, and community programs. And the community programs are your grant programs and your slum blight demolitions. And the contingencies. The finance director puts in a contingency for the CRA as well. The capital improvement project, the board approved a few months ago. And so this is a requirement of CRAs to specifically demonstrate how they're going to be spending the money over a period of time and have a relatively specific synopsis of what they plan on doing. Here we have the overall description of the project under branding and wayfinding, the source of revenue, the proposed schedule as best we could surmise at the time. It's also important to note how the project aligns with the CRA plan. So we put that in there as well. And so we have that style for your branding and wayfinding project, your Brasher Park improvement, Miller Bayou Drive Pocket Park. That's that piece of land we got from the county across from Olsner Park. I just gave it a name to give it a name. Nick's Parks improvement, Olsner Park improvement, strategic property acquisitions, the US 19 and Grand Boulevard intersection improvement, the US 19 median beautification project. And at the end of that, you have the capital improvement 5-year funding plan, spending plan based on at the time that the plan was approved. Of course, as we go through the park project plan and we get the conceptuals done, this will get updated and approved again by the board as we set priorities based on our reasonable cost of construction. And actually, I have a working summary that I use to try to play around and see how things change each other if we change different costs of things. And so on that working Excel, I actually added an additional year that puts us out to our sunset, so we know exactly what we're looking at with that sunset date in 2032. And so the reason why this is done so early is that we received a formal request by the Pasco County Administrator's Office for the report. And so we wanted to make sure that our board saw the report first before we gave it out. And so as soon as, probably the next day or two, we'll make sure that we fulfill that request to the county.
Well, Jared, this goes back to, that strategic plan that I would like to engage, because it's going to become very intense. It's going to become very focused. It's going to be specific. Based on that information, is that just the information that they need in general?
This is generally what's
required. Or does it prevent me from being very direct and focused on the accomplishment of our strategic CRA plan by aligning dates, times, money?
Those things will have to be voted on
years.
Those will have to be voted on by the board.
Okay.
Per the CRA rules, any changes in the CRA plan, your budget, and your CIP plan, those are approved annually or upon change. And so if staff comes up with a great idea, CRA of course says sure, we'll have to formally get that adopted into the working plan.
Absolutely, I agree. But what I'm looking at is being able to present a strategic plan for conceptual approval or for adjustment.
We can take what we have now with the CIP program.
Yeah.
If you want to make that the plan, we can make tweaks to it, but we'll have to come back to the board for approval.
Okay. And then I think the last piece on that is clearly identifying, the strategic objectives of those CRA projects. Because you talk about 19, the road, we really haven't really defined what that project is. And so being able to say, hey, our goal is we get DPW out there, they assess the road or DOT. And so our actual effort's going to be between street X and street Y, because everything else is in great shape. And so we're at least, focusing on the right target, and we're spending the money in a way in which benefits our strategic goals, long-term across the board with all of our projects.
There are certainly some of these plans that are further along than others. The US 19 beautification is actually being driven by the grant we received. So there are some parameters that we have to. So that one's further along than others. The parks, I think we'll get a lot of insight once we get through the conceptual design. We take it out to engineering to get construction estimates. Mm-hmm. And then we can present that to the board, and at that point prioritize what projects, what they look like, and how they want to implement that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So no action for this, just wanted to let you know before we send it to the county. Okay.
Any questions? Okay, moving right along. Next up is item number 4, 5250 Miller Bayou Demolition Purchase Order Approval. I'll pass it to Mr. King for introduction.
I'm not tied to that one right now, unfortunately, on day 7.
I do know the theory behind this is based on what the city has approved for demolitions and gone through the process. The building department through the CRA is wanting to fund the demolition of the 3 properties, and so this is the process for bidding those out. And they wanted to get ahead of it so that we meet the timelines that were established by the city. Right. So we're just trying to approve the bids here.
What about the county program that we just had a discussion about a couple of meetings ago, where the man came in from Pasco and said, like, for instance, the couple that on Green Street, tree came through the house. I believe that they would qualify for the program with Pasco, but it looks like we're looking to invest our money into demoing that.
So
Can we get reimbursed from Pasco? For that?
from a demo. I don't
I don't
know.
remember what the Pasco thing is. So why would we not want to go that avenue? I don't know what the Pasco thing is. A gentleman came in here, there was a program from Pasco
That's
about
the
tearing
CDBG.
down.
We'll actually ask that question next Thursday.
Next Thursday, and I'm in contact with that actual representative because I'm working annexation stuff through him also right now, at least as far as the property issues and items when it comes to structures. So I'll reach out to him. I'll see what information I can get from him on that because I would prefer to pull in Pasco County dollars and do it if they're available to us.
Right.
Because I prefer to spend other people's money before
Sure,
I want to invest, our budget into other things.
Well,
elevating.
so CRA is funded by Pasco too, so
Right.
it is somewhat Pasco money.
But if I
it's
can get
different
additional
Pasco.
money,
This would be additional Pasco.
Right.
And he's
That's what I wanna
clearly
grab.
mentioned
So
that
It,
these
it depends
demo
if they
homes,
qualify
like
because there was a lot of qualifications.
but they fit, that couple fit, if you remember his qualifications about the age.
Well, that would be if they actually.
Right, but have we
So
guided
here-
them towards that?
Well, so-
Have we-
I don't know if you can
Hey,
do
Eric.
that.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Chris.
Millions.
I'm sorry. Listen, I think we need, and I don't want to spend CRA dollars any more than you do. But remember, the idea here is to get that street cleaned up because you got neighbors who are complaining about the house being in dilapidated condition. They can't even sell their property.
Right.
So for us to keep dragging this on, I don't know if that's wise for us to make as a
Yeah, and
council.
again, we can ask a question. The specific one that's next on the agenda, they have till the 31st to do it themselves anyway. So I think the answer we found out, if there is if it's the path to funding that we could ask for reimbursement or something like that, I think we could still move forward, get it taken care of, and then possibly get reimbursed on the back end from some kind of grant or whatever. But yeah, per code, we need to keep these things moving forward for sure.
It's leaned with the CRA receiving the lien. CRA will be putting out the money, so those properties are liened, and then once paid, it goes back into the CRA.
Right.
And who pays them? You said
So the
transfer
CRA is the
property.
funding mechanism. The
transfer.
decision for demolition is solely with the city. However, the CRA is the funding mechanism for the demolition activity.
So yeah, the approval here, if we move forward after we approve, so this, staff obviously moves forward on this. This just gives them the authorization to have it demoed at the cost that they've got here. Once they do that, then the lien gets established on the property when it changes hands, and that gets paid.
Okay, on this particular one for the 5250, the number from SC Signature Construction is 19,316, and in the second paragraph it's 17,666. Is there a reason? Which one are we approving?
Yeah, that's incorrect. They're referencing. Well, actually, it's in the purchase request. It shows 17,666 as well.
I think your cover page is wrong.
Let's see what
There's also another typo. That fund actually has $200,000 allocated to this, not 100.
in the actual proposal from SC. It says 19,316. So that's the number.
Okay, so just the paragraph.
Yeah,
is
so
wrong. Okay.
in the motion, make sure the motion is set up for 19,316. So
I make a motion. Are you looking for a motion?
Yep, looking for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the demolition of 5250 Miller Bayou Drive for the 19,3. What's the dollar amount?
316 with SC Construction.
19,316 with SC Construction.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
A motion, a second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, next up is item number 5, 8642 Green Street demolition purchase order approval. Same thing, it's just a different property.
Correct.
Let's see if this is the one I wanted to.
I think it's the third one.
Yeah, this is the one next door. So I did have a question on this as we got these estimates because obviously I think the next one was 19, the other was 19 as well or something close, but this one was 25,712 from SC. There's the lowest bid. Is that because there's a pool at that property that's costing that to? Because it's the same size property pretty much as the one.
That's what it looks like, Garrett. It looks like there's a pool in the backyard.
Crushed in and filled.
So it's always higher for the pool. That's what I kind of thought. And then the only other question I had on this and the one after is obviously they're right next door to each other. When we got these estimates, did they look at these as one-offs or did they? I would assume there'd be some savings because they could do both at the same time. Have the equipment there, do both. It's supposed to mobilize the equipment twice. And I don't know how you do that other than go out to bid on the joint.
Make them part of one bid. I don't know that happened.
And I'd mentioned that to Veronica, and I thought they were pursuing it that way, but they're individual here, so I don't know if that was taken consideration or not.
The second property on Green Street, Eric, is only 17,000, and some of the other bids are like 26 and 21.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe with the our local SC Signature Construction, they were cutting a slack on doing both of them at the same time.
It could be, but again, it's close to that 19,000 on the Miller Bayou. Is it Miller Bayou? And then the 25, obviously with the pool. So I wonder too, because that the other property is in pretty bad shape. It probably come down a little easier. But I don't know. Do we just
I don't have any answers to those questions.
from a
I'm not part of
legal
this.
perspective, if we move forward and accept this, are we able to engage with say, hey, we've authorized?
You accept their bid and then you negotiate the contract, right? So there's still another step in it. So you can ask those questions.
So we could possibly lower the cost together if they have both, I guess, is that?
You can always ask. I mean, I don't.
Why not?
Yeah, they can say no. And they can say this is what we're going to do.
Right.
The question can be asked, yes.
Okay.
Because we still have to negotiate the contract.
Okay, so that sounds good. So it's like we can, if you guys are ready for a motion to approve this.
Motion to approve the demolition purchase order of 8642 Green Street.
Second.
Okay, a motion second. Any further discussion?
Did that verify, specify?
Both.
Oh,
With the SC's construction at their cost?
25,712.
25,712?
You can just say with SC signature construction.
at their cost.
Just specify the contractor that we're going with.
SC construction.
SE control. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there a second? Bob, will you second that?
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And next up is item number 6, 8648 Green Street purchase order approval. Same thing. It's a house next door. Look for a motion.
Motion to approve SC Signatures Construction proposal to demolition the property at 8648 Green Street for $17,650.
Second.
Got Bob, I think. Motion
You can
second.
have it.
Any further discussion?
I don't care. I share.
Any public comment? Seeing none, put to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. That's all board business. Next up is comments from the board. I'll start my left this time with Member Burke.
And everything.
Vice Chair Mayor.
I'm good to go, sir.
Okay. Member Hubbard. Okay. And I know Christine, Member Sullivan, you had something?
I still had the question from a resident, could we add townhomes, or why are townhomes excluded if they're owned from the CRA residential grant program?
Yeah.
And can they be added?
I have a response for that because I did hear the question. And so under the current rules, single family homes and duplexes are allowed. It doesn't specifically state townhomes, so I'll have to add those in. I believe the only townhome community I can think of that is in this area is probably Marina Palms. If that's the case, we'll have to figure out how to address HOA requirements too. We'll have to add that. The board will have to approve adding that in there as well, because of course the HOA will have a approval process as well. So we'll have to add those two in. That's the only example I can think of a townhome. I checked, there are some that are homesteaded, so they would qualify other than just the definition, and then we'd also have to figure out the HOA piece.
So I know we got to make some adjustments. So is there any objections to adding townhomes to make sure we extend that to those kind of owners?
No.
So I'll make the adjustments in the plan. I'll have to bring it back for a formal adoption.
Which we got to make some changes anyway, right? We talked about earlier.
Right.
As long as they own them and are homestead,
Right.
same as everything
Right.
else.
Do we want to lump all the changes and want to do one large change? We'll get everything, all these pieces from the workshop and now
I don't think so.
together.
So you okay with that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. I have nothing as well. So look for a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
You want to second that, Chris?